In this series, I'm going to walk you through creating and customizing your own Wi-Fi hacking multi-tool, and also show you how to make custom circuit boards as well as 3D printed enclosures. Specialized hardware is an essential component to a hacker's toolkit, and the ability to create and prototype your own means you can easily customize tools for physical engagement, Wi-Fi hacking, or even just creating a basic sensor board to log weather data. In this 5-part series, I'm going to show you the basics of creating a hardware design and also set you up with some open source tools that will help facilitate this process. To begin, I'm going to walk you through some basic breadboard prototyping and also show you how to use the Arduino platform in order to set up an open source Wi-Fi hacking tool with the ESP8266. To begin, we're going to replicate SpaceHuhn's Wi-Fi Deauther, which is a project that features a variety of Wi-Fi hacking tools and is a great place to start to showcase some of the features of the ESP8266, which we're going to be using in the upcoming pen testing platform we're building over the course of the series. So when looking for online documentation, you can usually find resources either on the creator's website or more commonly like on GitHub. But since we know the project we're already replicating, you can see I've pulled up the documentation and installation instructions directly from SpaceHuhn's GitHub repository. Now, referencing this component list, you can see that we're going to need a breadboard, jumper wires, micro USB cable, push buttons, an ESP8266, and an I2C OLED display, which I've sourced on Amazon and will leave in the description below. So looking at the documentation for these parts, you can see that the creator has detailed the exact hookup instructions for each component, such as where each of the buttons will plug into and the pinouts for the specific I2C or SPI screen that we're going to be using. Now, you can also reference online pinout diagrams for the microcontroller or components you're using, but today we're going to be going with the D1 Mini, which is fully compatible with the online documentation. And as you can see, the pinouts are labeled according to either physical GPIO number, which will correspond to a pin on the microcontroller, or this alternative numbering that goes from D0 through D8. So I'm going to start by mounting all the components to our breadboard, where you can see that each pin aligns to its own isolated column, which will allow us to hook up wires and jump different parts of the breadboard together. I can also wire up these horizontal power rails to the D1 Mini, so that way we can hook up the display, buttons, or other components to a power source using just a single strip. Now, referencing the pinout for the OLED on SpaceHuhn's documentation, I'm going to just jump the pin labeled SDA over to pin D2 and SCK over to pin D1, as well as the appropriate power pins on the D1 Mini. As for the buttons, only one prong on each button has to be connected to a pin on the D1 Mini, and the opposite pin can just be jumped to ground since it's pulled low and tells the microcontroller that a button press has been registered. So I can basically just wire together all of the ground contact points for each of these buttons, and then jump another pin on each of them to a unique pin on the D1 Mini. So again, if we check the pinout on SpaceHuhn's repository, you can see that we can use up to 6 buttons for this design, but since I only needed 4 for this project, we can just select arbitrary pins between the ones that are suggested in the documentation. So I'm going to go with D3, D4, D7, and D5 as controls, since they don't require any extra setup like using an external resistor. With all of the components wired up, our Wi-Fi Deauther should be completely pin compatible with SpaceHuhn's documentation, and the final step is to just configure and flash the code to the board. So plugging in the D1 Mini, I'm going to open up the Arduino IDE where I have a copy of the Deauther software downloaded locally. But if you want more information on getting this tool set up, I'll have another video coming out soon specifically detailing using this exact project and also showcasing a few more of its features in detail. So if you look over at this configuration file that SpaceHuhn documents on his project page, you can see that I've altered the pinout here to use the same buttons that we're using and also set up the OLED to use the same pinout, as well as an optional NeoPixel that will be featured in an upcoming video. So with our breadboard wired up and the components now set to the correct pinout, I can just go ahead and flash the code to our board using the upload button in the top corner. So as you can see, the code successfully flashed our breadboard Wi-Fi Deauther, and I'm able to use the buttons to toggle through various modes on this platform, like this cool packet monitor, as well as a handful of other very useful features that I'll demonstrate in future videos. Programming and breadboarding are the first steps towards creating a functional prototype, and as you saw today, we were able to successfully replicate online documentation in order to create our own Wi-Fi Deauther. In an upcoming video, I'm going to show you the basics of creating your own circuit board and how we can translate the prototype we created today into a more condensed form factor like the circuit board I have here. If you're interested in learning how to completely design your own hardware platform from scratch, stay posted for more upcoming episodes in this series and possibly a Udemy class that we might be dropping. If you have any suggestions for other videos you'd like to see or topics you want to see covered in the series, let us know in the comments below, or you can also reach out to me on Twitter at AlexLynd. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Hak5.
Thanks for supporting Hak5. Find all our shows, community, and pentest products at hak5.org.